Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a podcast by Practical E-Commerce.
This is Kerry Murdock with Practical E-Commerce. Our topic today is starting a new e-commerce business. We're joined by Danny Halarewich, CEO of LemonStand, a leading e-commerce platform. Well, Danny, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Glad to be doing it.
Danny, you're the CEO of LemonStand, which, of course, is a leading e-commerce platform. Our topic today is starting a new e-commerce business, issues that are involved with starting a new e-commerce business. Many startups and small businesses, of course, use your platform, LemonStand. My first question for you today, Danny, is tell us an idea or two that you've seen over the last year or so that you thought was a really good e-commerce idea.
Well, one thing that we've been seeing a lot of is it's more of a trend, but gaining a lot of popularity, and that's subscription-based commerce models. Mm-hmm. And that's really interesting to both the business and consumers. It provides consumers, products that they can get on a recurring basis, which is pretty convenient in a lot of cases. And then it gives that reoccurring revenue to the business that can give them a little more stability. That's something that we find really interesting, and at LemonStand we're looking forward to working on some of the challenges around that and trying to innovate. Another thing that I've seen just recently was a LemonStand customer that was actually building a store that sells live lobsters. So they had some pretty unique challenges to overcome, and they're still in development, but they're making a lot of progress. So I think it just kind of illustrates that we're seeing almost everything being sold online these days.
What are some subscription businesses? These are subscriptions for physical products, right? So is that what you're referring to there?
Yeah, you'll see a lot of companies that are selling maybe like snack boxes or even clothing, things like that. They're often based on the customer's preferences that they set beforehand.
Any name or two that comes to mind of really compelling or innovative subscription business we need to know about?
There's a Canadian company, Frank & Oak. They're selling clothing, and they're doing really well. I've always admired their business. And we have a LemonStand customer called Blissmo Box, and they've been around for a while, and they're actually, I think, one of the pioneers of the model. So, there's all sorts of them out there, and they seem to be popping up all the time.
What is Blissmo Box? What is that?
I believe that they sell a snack box kind of product, but it's around healthy snacks, I believe, like vegan products and things of that nature.
Interesting. So we're 10 years or longer, I guess, into the kind of mainstream e-commerce industry, and seemingly every idea has been thought of or attempted online for e-commerce. I say seemingly because we say that and then someone comes along with a terrific new idea or new execution of that idea, such as the subscription model that you just mentioned. Is this a good time to be starting an e-commerce business?
We think it's an amazing time. E-commerce continues to grow. According to every study I've seen, it's growing immensely, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Technology is much better in terms of effectiveness, and also its barrier to entry is a lot lower. And also, people are just much more comfortable buying online. So I think that things are definitely aligning and making it, probably the best time in history to start an e-commerce business. But there's definitely more competition out there, and it's we always say that it's not a build it and they will come thing anymore, and it might not have ever been, but it's definitely true today. So that means businesses really need to ensure that they're offering a seamless shopping experience and taking advantage of modern approaches to digital marketing and just making sure that they are keeping up with the times on that.
I'm going to throw a hypothetical question at you, Danny, and that is this. Say I have a terrific product, a product that I manufacture or that I've invented or something along those lines, and I want to sell it online. It's a consumer-based product. I come to you, I come to your company, LemonStand, asking for help. What are your suggestions going to be for me?
Well, I mean, you would have already done a lot of the work by identifying a good niche and then finding, suppliers for that product, or maybe you're producing yourself. But I mean, I think the first three things or so that I would say is to learn a little bit. First of all, learn a little bit more about your customer. Really identify who exactly they are. Research them, speak to them. Call them up on the phone. Not trying to sell anything, just learn about them. Talk to them at the grocery store, wherever they may be. Find out everything you can, and then compile that into what's usually called a customer persona document, and use that as a guide for your decisions later on. The second thing I would say is using that info you just gathered, start crafting your project requirements. Map that out as clearly as you can. Answer questions like, how do they want to purchase your product? Like, for example, is it a subscription type product? Like if you're selling razors for shaving or something like that, subscription probably makes a lot of sense. How do they want the product to be shipped? Where are those customers located? Which will make, guide decisions on how you accept payments and shipping methods that are available to you. And also, where they hang out online, so how and where you can reach them with your marketing messages. So all these things will inform a lot of your decisions and start mapping out your requirements. And then the third thing, armed with all that info you now have, you can start to narrow down your choices as far as your e-commerce platforms go, and also what I think is more important is decide whether this is something you want to try to build yourself, or if you want to hire an expert. And an expert could be, a freelancer, a studio of a few people, or even a web design agency of 20 people.
Build it in terms of build out the platform? Is that what you're referring to there?
Yeah. Build out the platform, but more than just building the website. I mean, it's your branding, it's your design, it's mapping out the user experience and all those things that go along with it.
You mentioned a few minutes ago, Danny, that it's an amazing time to start an e-commerce business. I know, conversely, a fair number of smaller businesses, not just e-commerce, but including e-commerce, but a fair number of smaller businesses fail. So what you've seen businesses come and go. What are common mistakes that e-commerce businesses make that cause them to go away?
I think the most common thing is the misconception of, again, build it and customers will come, because that just doesn't happen. It's really easy to launch a store nowadays. You can literally get one up in 15 minutes or so by picking a template and things like that. So that's not really the challenge anymore. The challenge is getting customers, and so that's marketing. And so I think from what I've seen, businesses often fail because they're not investing in marketing. They're either just not investing the dollars into it, or the time or the effort, or getting the help and resources they need to build that out and drive customers to their store. Once you get traffic to your store, there's all sorts of other things you need to do as well, of course, but the first thing when you're just starting out is getting customers.
How does a prospective merchant learn that? That's always a dilemma, I think. There's such a wide gulf between folks like yourself and folks like us that are writing about this every day, there's such a wide gulf between your knowledge and someone just starting in the business. And it's always such a hard thing to grapple with for them to understand what it's going to take. I mean, they're going to have to know marketing, but how does someone learn that? They're launching this business and there's so many things they've got to know and got to learn. How do they get up to speed on that?
Yeah, I agree. There's so many different facets to this, and it can easily be overwhelming. I think that if you believe in the opportunity of your business and you really do aspire to grow it, I mean, I think it makes sense to try to get some help. I mean, it doesn't have to be people that you hire full-time or even an agency, but maybe try to reach out to someone who's been there, done that, and see if you can get some advice on where to start. I mean, there's definitely some fundamentals that you should probably spend your time on, and right now what we're seeing is that's mostly SEO, which is very tightly related to content nowadays. It's not just about building links and optimizing your title tags, for example, but getting familiar with that and just focusing on one marketing channel at a time. And in the beginning, that's often SEO. And then after you get to grips with one thing, maybe start to branch out into other things like social media and maybe some paid acquisition channels, whether that's AdWords or Twitter and some of the other places.
Good advice. Let's change gears just for a sec and talk about LemonStand, the company that you are the CEO of. Tell us about your company. Tell us when it was founded and where you're located, who owns it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so LemonStand is an e-commerce platform company. As a company, we're focused on growing retailers or ones that aspire to. So our customers are usually full-time e-commerce businesses, or they are a brick-and-mortar business, and now they are now expanding online. But most of our customers are full-time in this business, and it's not a side thing. They have a day job, and they're just kind of testing the waters or things like that. So, those are our customers, and we really try hard to focus on their needs around providing a platform that's flexible, that will support their growth, and also providing educational resources to help them as well. We have a blog that we're building out where we have various experts that write on topics like we were just talking about marketing and things of that nature. So we've been around since 2010. It was founded by my co-founder and our CTO and I, and we're based out of Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys own the company?
Yeah, we do. We do have investors. BDC Venture Capital has invested in LemonStand. But yeah, we own the company.
All right. One of the issues that we deal with here, Danny, and I know that you deal with your business, is folks will ask us what shopping cart to use. And one of our pet peeves is when pundits tell, especially new merchants, well, you need to figure out the features you need. And the reason that's a pet peeve of ours is because we have seen that frequently new merchants don't know the features they need. If they don't know about affiliate marketing, or if they don't know about different types of coupons that they need, or volume pricing discounts, that sort of thing, how are they supposed to make a list to decide the features they need? So it's kind of a chicken and an egg thing. It's similar to the marketing discussion that we just had. So how's a startup merchant, when a merchant's choosing a cart or platform, how's a merchant really supposed to know, or can the merchant know, if he doesn't understand e-commerce to begin with, really?
That's a great question. I think there's probably a lot of different schools of thought on this, but I'd say the first thing is to look for an e-commerce platform that you can grow into and that will grow with you. So one that is flexible and that it will scale with your needs as they grow and get more sophisticated as your business grows up and your requirements change. There's no way to predict all the things you may need in the future. That's just impossible. But you can definitely get some help, again, by reaching out to some of the experts out there. There are some people, you can find them maybe on Digging In, or there's a service that I like called clarity.fm, where you can find experts on various topics and then set up calls with them. So I would definitely reach out to people who have done it before and see if they can give you some advice on maybe just things you didn't think of, or things you didn't know that you should be considering at this stage or in the future. And write those things down and consider that and use that to compare the different e-commerce platforms. So I would say it's a combination of making sure that you're not pigeonholed in a platform that is kind of very narrowly focused and won't flex to your needs in the future, and then also talking with people that will help guide your decisions for making the choice on the e-commerce platform.
Among the biggest mistakes we see here from new merchants is hooking up with a developer, that a well-meaning developer that may be tied in to a specific platform or may not truly understand the merchant's needs or even understand e-commerce, certainly a niche of e-commerce that the merchant may be in. And so we frequently hear from merchants who are $10, $20, $30, $50,000 into a project with a developer only to figure out that it's not going to work for them. What's your advice to merchants that are dealing with that are contemplating hiring a developer? You mentioned perhaps go with consultants, but should a new merchant even hire a developer? I mean, look at your platform. It's a wonderful platform. I suspect you have wonderful support. Given your platform, why shouldn't a merchant figure that out himself and not hire a developer?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a risk with that. I mean, you can hire the wrong people for the job sometimes, and when you don't have the experience or haven't done that before, then you run a higher risk of it. Definitely, that's something that we're trying to work on as a company as well. So oftentimes we have merchants that come to us and they start building out their store themselves, and there's many things that they can do on their own. They can pick a theme, customize it a little bit, and add their products and all that sort of stuff, of course. So they can get started, but they often want things that require customization, and that requires web design skills oftentimes. So as a company, we're trying to work on a way to connect them with vetted web designers and developers, various sizes depending on the client's needs and their budget. So yeah, I would say that you should definitely try to test the waters a little bit. If it's something that you can kind of just dip your feet in and use one of the platforms out there that are easy, and just to get started and kind of validate your startup idea, and then go from there, and then maybe invest a little bit more in a developer. But yeah, I would say definitely avoid the huge, massive scope of certain projects. Like some people, it will be their first e-commerce business, and then they will spend $50,000 on that development. And oftentimes that's, in my opinion, that's not the right approach. You should probably start smaller and just iterate from there.
Denny, we have just another minute or so left. We've enjoyed talking to you. Anything else on your mind today about starting a new e-commerce business?
Yeah, there's one thing that's been on our mind, and I would just like to suggest for new businesses just starting out to definitely think about mobile shoppers from day one. It is hugely important nowadays, and it's not really something that's optional. If an e-commerce platform is not mobile friendly out of the box, then my suggestion would be to move on. So make sure that you are considering mobile shoppers right away, and you're providing a seamless browsing and shopping experience to them. We find that shoppers will often look and browse a website from their phone, whether they're sitting on the couch watching TV or riding the bus or something like that, and then they will come back later to complete the purchase. But if you're not providing a good shopping experience to them while they're on the mobile device, they will probably, hit the back button or tap the back button, and then, find another store that sells a similar product and that offers them a good mobile shopping experience, and then they'll make the purchase with them later on. So, definitely, I'd just like to make the suggestion to make sure you're focusing on the mobile shopping experience as well.
Good advice. For purposes of our listeners, we've been visiting with Danny Halarewich. Danny is CEO of LemonStand, which is a leading e-commerce platform. The URL is lemonstand.com. That's lemonstand.com. And Danny Halarewich, we want to thank you for your time today.